think of that. Back to the current Crimson Tide. You mentioned the transfers. I love what Nate Oates did here. Went out and added Dominic Welch, who's a super senior transfer from St. Bonaventure, 6'5" guard, forward, sort of one of just 6'5" wing, but it could be the 3 probably. 12.3.6 rebounds per game last season. Shot, and this is important because we're talking about Alabama, 37.4% from 3. They also add Mark Sears, transfer from Ohio, 19.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists per game, shot 40.8% from 3 last season on 4.2 attempts per game. Why are those 3-point percentages important? Because it's Alabama. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. About 47% of their field goal attempts come from 3-point range. And so what Nate did is go out and add a couple of experienced, proven perimeter shooters. And so that's not just getting talent. That's getting talent that fits what it is you're trying to do, which is largely make shots from the 3-point line. So you got the 2 5-star freshmen, the 2 transfers, and then Bediako, who's a former 5-star center, had a whatever season as a freshman, but perhaps he takes that freshman to sophomore season jump. Undeniably talented. I'm a believer in Nate Oates. I'm a believer in this program. Alabama's going to look a lot different. Like, a lot different. Like the players won't be recognizable to most people, but they're still talented. And I trust them to be good, to safely make the NCAA tournament again. And don't forget, Namari Burnett suffered a torn ACL, former 5-star guy, was not good in his first season at Texas Tech, transferred to Alabama, torn ACL last preseason. Last I heard, his rehab was going well, and he's on track to be ready to go, on opening night.
A couple things with Bama here. One, he's gone. It is what it is. J.D. Davison wound up getting picked 53rd overall. He certainly was projected to be more 20 to 40, 3 months ago. Winds up going 53rd. We'll see if it winds up working out for him or not. I believe Boston took him. I don't have his page up right now, but I'm pretty sure he went to Boston. If he was on, but the point I'm making is if he was on the team, if he had decided to come back and if Quinerly hadn't gotten hurt, then GP, this would be a surefire top 20 team heading in. I think Universal, that's not the case there. If Quinerly was able to be healthy and make a jump to being like a true All-American level kind of player, then I think they'd have, potential Final Four ceiling. I don't know. I do like the core, and I think Gurley will probably take another jump in this final season. I like him a lot, and I know the staff really does as well. Oates has had really good offensive teams since he got here. He's done well overall. Briefly, this class is ranked 3rd. 2020 was 12th. 2021 was 14th. He has recruited well, and this is the high watermark to this point. But last season, no Herb Jones. They take a huge step back on defense, bigger than I even thought. I think that they expected them to. It wasn't a shock that they weren't as good because Jones is one of the more versatile defenders his final season of college, and that translated immediately to his first season in the NBA. But will guys like Welch and Sears make Bama better on defense? Will Sears, who was an all-MAC player, averaged almost 20 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 41% three-point shooter, really, 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 really good mid-major player. Is he going to be able to step in to the Bama roster right away and make up for what they won't have with Quinerly? It's going to be interesting. And I think Shackelford, who averaged 16.6 points per game last season, GP, if you watched, and I watched more than half of Bama's games easily. When you actually watched them play, it was clear that Shackelford affected that team's winning as much as any other player, beyond from reasons for how he shot the ball and how much he scored there. The Burnett mention is key. Maybe he is the guy that's kind of hiding in plain sight. When he comes back, maybe we're talking about the Tide a month into the season, Parrish, and your preseason prediction is right, if not low, and they are looking like a team that has top 15 kind of potential. But if that's going to be the case, Miller and Bradley probably have to be impact players almost immediately, and Miller's going to be a lot of fun. But Burnett as well, coming off the injury, can he live up to that in addition to Gurley overall? So, yeah, I like this group. I mean, one of the reasons why we're doing the series is when we want to give some teams some real attention. There's a lot of intrigue. Bama, again, is an interesting program. If you're an Alabama fan and you're listening to this podcast, you probably quite enjoy your football team, and you have a bankable thing with that, right? Every single year you expect or hope to be playing in the national title game. With Bama basketball, it's a fun bonus. Like Oates has this thing going in a big way. And just a quick digression here, my favorite thing about Alabama in this entire offseason was the normally outspoken Nate Oates just kind of sheepishly sitting next to Nick Saban about a little over a month ago when Saban went on that rant against Texas A&M, right? And Oates was sitting there at this whole event, but didn't say anything. But he happened to be I want to be sitting in the limo or the car service on the way back from that thing, because you got to figure Saban and Oates went together. I want to say it wasn't even in Tuscaloosa, like it might have been in Birmingham or something like that. The idea that Oates, who certainly stepped in an entertaining way, the fact that he was just kind of sitting there with Saban when he went on that rant is one of my more favorite overlooked things of this offseason so far in college.